Hello everyone. Do you want to have better conversations that lead to more meaningful relationships? Well, this isn't about converting a one-night stand into a relationship. This is about communication in general, aiming to help you have more effective communication skills by summarizing this book by Carol Ann Lloyd. The key acronym to remember is REAL. And that's the importance of having real conversations. R stands for relevant. We need to ensure that the discussion is relevant to all parties involved in that discussion. E is effective. We aim to accomplish something meaningful from the conversation. A is affirming, showing respect to everybody involved. And L is legitimate, and that's discussing topics that are important and that matter. So you may want to try this out, but hold off a conversation until you may want to just think, what do I want to achieve here? Because ideally, conversation should be goal orientated. So you may want to think before initiating your next conversation, decide what conversation to actually have. Don't just say the first thing that comes into your mind. Perhaps identify a purpose. Set the stage. Now that would be choosing an appropriate time and a place for this conversation, and decide where you want to end up. Stay focused on what you want to achieve. So a few general tips about communicating are managing emotions, particularly your own. Listen more. I'll say that again, listen more just for impact, but you can learn by listening. And if you commit to giving 100% listening skills, that'll make sure that you understand what the other person's trying to say before you respond. Give other people time and space, and it's over time that you can build connections. Adjust your tone and your gestures. Use them effectively to reinforce your message. Practice, another acronym, WAIT. Why am I talking? That stands for. So just pause before you speak to make sure you're speaking effectively and that your words are adding value to that conversation. In addition, using silence strategically is a common thing. Some people are afraid of silence in conversations, but don't be. Let a little bit of silence go, and then somebody can speak about something that they're perhaps thinking about. And it allows other people time to contribute. Finally, using great questions. This is always key, because if you can question somebody to understand why they perceive a particular thing, you can get a deeper understanding and discussions can flow more fully. And, that's what we want. So remember, there's also different communication styles. Not all people have the same communication style, and some would resonate with one thing, another with a different type of communication. So you may want to identify the type of communication that they're using. Is it collaborative? We can do this. Is it competitive? We must beat them, or I must beat you. And then you can adjust your style accordingly. And a nice tip if you're in meetings is actually, instead of meeting and all sitting down, just consider a standing meeting. It means that people wouldn't even sit down, they'd stand up, they know it's a focused meeting, and then they will leave. That allows you to keep your discussions brief and efficient. And it's important to know when to pause or actually stop a conversation. And this present pause is if the conversation isn't going anywhere and it's just going to perhaps end in an argument with two people who have completely opposing views. And if you see that elsewhere, it may be it's time for you to step in and say, let's pause here. It may be more productive to have the discussion another day, or it may be that the discussion's completely unnecessary. If nothing's changed, rekindling this discussion might be pointless. Be intentional with how you use technology. Be sure to make it enhance your communication rather than hinder. And It's great. I could do a video call and speak to somebody in a different country right away. And I can do Teams calls and speak to people through about work and other things. And through the coronavirus pandemic, we all did this. However, if you're speaking to somebody in person, it's really best. And when you're doing that, don't let technology hinder this. Put your phone away. Keep it on silent. And really, phones can create barriers. There's a good concept called going dark, and that's just by going off the grid in terms of no phone. Life moves on, you know. In the past, I grew up when I didn't have a phone because the mobile phones were not invented yet, believe it or not. Don't comment that you're surprised by that, but anyway, the point is that phones can be good, but if you're having a conversation with friends, put them away. There was a great story about a phone stack in the middle of a table, and the first person to pick their phone from that stack actually had to pay the lunch bill. So a few final tips relating to using small talk wisely. One would be, you don't ask somebody, what do you do? Instead ask them, what do you love about what you do? And then ask follow-up questions. For example, if somebody mentions that they're going camping, ask about what they enjoy about camping and try and focus on the future rather than dwelling on the past. So if you've got an effective go-to strategy for communication, why not share it in the comments below? Certainly thanks for watching. I summarised plenty of other books. Check them out. Okay, thank you.